introduction. Hello, it's so wonderful to see all of your wonderful faces all at once. I was telling multiple people that that's the most overwhelming thing about all of that, is seeing everyone, and I am genuinely extra excited to see every single face that's in this room, and I'll look like I'm being fake because I'm so, you're here! But it's real, and it's very genuine, so thank you for being here. So what is tonight about? Tonight is about love. A specific love, but also general love. This is a grand romantic gesture I've made for a specific person, and who is it? Who can say? I don't know. I don't like to tell my secrets. But I have had many loves in my life, and felt very strongly about a lot of people, and felt like I needed to do things that are grand, to varying degrees of success, most failures. But tonight, I want to take that energy that's built up over some odd years. Some would say it began all the way back in preschool, where I kissed a certain Austin Bird on the playground against his will. I thought it was very romantic. I had recently seen, I think it is While You Were Sleeping. It's like a Sandra Bullock romantic comedy. I thought it would be great for both of us, but it wasn't, and I was sent home with a note. So I've taken all of that and put it into this night. I have a playlist tonight. I, from a young age, was a maker of mixed tapes, and seeing as most people don't have tape decks, and secondly, that it is horrifying to get a mixtape from people if you did not want a mixtape from a person. I've stowed away a lot of songs for those purposes, and I will play them tonight. So also about me as a person, if you see me and I'm driving, or if I'm walking around and I have on headphones, I'm imagining that a camera somewhere out there is panning out on me, and it's like, wow, look at Shea, she's having an introspective thought, and having like a romantic and beautiful, whimsical time. So I'm always like scoring my own life. I'm so unique, so different than most people. So anyway, that is part of what's going to happen tonight. I'll tell you more things as it goes along, so you know what's happening up here. There's going to be some prose, there's going to be some talking, there's going to be a lot of poetry. You will see as it goes on. So we're going to see how this music thing happens. I bought this tiny disco ball, and I'm going to use it. Let's see how it goes. So let's start at the beginning. Many people ask me why exactly. Can you hear that in the back, audience people? Good. Vaguely? Good. Many people ask me why Bill Murray, and it's very difficult for me to say, but I tried to do that in this book. This is a piece called The Expediter of Your Dreams, Pal. Untangling my infinity for Bill Murray is a bit like trying to unravel the rubber band and paperclip masses you find while feeling around for a pair of scissors. The beginnings are knotted in an indecipherable mass of late-night television programming and in-flight entertainment where Groundhog Day or Stripes or Caddyshack is playing in loop. The clearest moment I can recall is when I was sitting in the red glow of Christmas, flipping aimlessly back and forth until I settled on that scene in Groundhog Day where Bill is dancing with Andie MacDowell in the snow. They're waltzing under this pavilion covered in lights, and he dips her over the side, her brown curls spilling over the railing. That great Ray Charles song, You Don't Know Me, is twinkling in the background, and he pulls her close, puts her hand on his heart. You're waiting for a kiss that never comes. The moment hangs like a drip on an icicle, expectant, inevitable. I stayed up long enough to see TBS's second showing. Afterward, I lay in bed feeling important. My ceiling was dotted with those plastic glow-in-the-dark stars, and I stared at them with my nearsighted stare until the stars and the feelings were a blur. That scene is called French poetry because just before the dance, Rita reveals over dinner with Phil that her undergraduate self studied 19th century French poetry. It struck my undergraduate self while reading Donald Ravel's translation of Rimbaud's The Illuminations that Winter Festival is just the sort of poem that Rita would read to Phil in their queen-size bed stuffed with down pillows, thinking of that dance in February. And Phil would listen until she was finished, tuck one of her curls behind her ear, place his lips just moments from hers, and say, What a waste of time. Thank you. And so this is a poem, which most of these poems are, where I put myself into that moment as best I could. And this is called You Like Boats, But Not the Ocean. He waltzes in. Can I buy you a drink? Sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist, please. There's something so familiar here, I think. You gift your hand to me, and then we sink. The snow starts in on us. The hardest freeze. He waltzes in. Can I buy you a drink? He wakes up. The bedside roses of pink. Radio plays the I Got You Babe tease. There's something so familiar here, I think. The groundhog bestows on the crowd a wink. Phil looks in the camera with his unease. He waltzes in. Can I buy you a drink? Her rhinestones and French poetry and ink, like a subtle paint-by-numbers striptease. There's something so familiar here, I think. There's no tomorrow, today, double think. He waltzes in. Can I buy you a drink? There's something so familiar here, I think. Yeah! Okay, I showed my hand already, but I'm going to say briefly that I am a person that loves a Christmas special, and very specifically a Christmas special when it's outside of Christmas time. And I don't think I'm necessarily alone in that, but it's kind of like liking being awake at 3 a.m. because you're like, no one else is awake right now. You feel very, very unique and very interesting, and I don't know, I feel very close to Christmas in the summertime. So. This is my Scrooged poem, which again, is just me putting myself inside of Scrooge because I love it oh so much. And this is called I Never Liked a Girl Well Enough to Give Her 12 Sharp Knives. I like it when you sit on the kitchen countertop and dangle your legs beside the lazy Susan and the spice racks full of tiny liquor bottles. You like to use your French in the kitchen. You wear it like a doily apron that doesn't really keep flour off of your shirt. I like it when you fry chicken, your hands so thin and small, completely unlike lady fingers. I watch you slap the fat of the skinless thighs with your palms. You roll them over and over in the flour. It is so sexy. You're in there with flour up to your elbows, rolling that bird around with your bare hands, and every once in a while, you roll your shoulders back and turn your head in my direction. But right now, you're making cookies. You bought one of those logs of cookie dough with the marks that show you where to cut. Some of them are too skinny or too fat. You cover up the mistakes with the green and red sprinkles. Those are the best ones. You're kind of singing and doing this thing where you will curl your toes and bounce like you're dancing. I am sweating under this turtleneck. All the light is kind of rosy and warm. It could be the wine. Either way, I just want you here where this embroidered pillow is. I want you to rub my receding hairline and call me lumpy and kiss me like we're standing in the produce aisle. So a thing that people often ask me, because it's warranted, because I talk about Bill Murray an excessive amount of time, they're like, what's your favorite Bill Murray movie? What's your favorite? Then they get more specific and are like, what's your favorite, like, Bill Murray, like, Wes Anderson movie? Is a question that I get a lot, and I would have to say that is Rushmore for multiple reasons. But very specifically because Rushmore in particular, it's got like a sweet sadness, which I really like, which this book is full of like sweet sadness, but also because, and I don't know if many people know this, but so Rushmore was his second movie that he made, that Wes Anderson made, and so he didn't have much clout like in the movie world, but he was somehow able to get this script out to Bill Murray, and Bill Murray was like, I will do it. And he did it for $9,000, which is like much less than most people paid for a car, and he got Bill Murray. So I think that's pretty great. So anyway, this is my Rushmore poem, where once again I insert myself where I think I should have been all along, inside of that movie. This is called She's My Rushmore. You punctuate your phrases with sips, the cheap wine commas, negative air, negative time filled with the humming of conversations and the silence between our silverware. You wrap the paper straw holder around the glass. After dinner, you wipe your mouth and say thank you just like this. I need to go to the bathroom. Last night, you waited until I was asleep to slip out of my arms and into a bath. I heard you turn the water on and off with your pruning foot, the squeak of the pipes as they quenched and released, a conversation begun and aborted. I smoothed down the fibers of my mustache with my index finger and considered the indention in your feather pillow. It should be bronzed. It should be set on someone's mantle, like those baby shoes that no one seems to save anymore. Now, I look at your blue sweater hanging on the back of your empty chair like a scarecrow. Scarecrows have become so happy and so useless, and I am so happy and so useless. I haven't come back from the bathroom, so I write this thing down in crayon on the paper tablecloth. I'm a bit lonely these days. Yeah. Check in with my audience, since you're like my romantic partner here tonight. How is the music working for you? People in the back, is the sound and the everything working? Good. It's just like a sexual experience where I have to be, is that good for you? It's good for me? Is it good for you? I don't know. So just, shout out if it's not good. Say, stop it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know. We're all different. Also, watch me as I work with these tabs. I've never had a book before. This is my first time for that. So I've never worked with these little tabs, and also bought these in the dollar section of Target, so they're very liable to fall off. Oh my God. This is a poem that was requested by someone in the audience. I'm trying to. This is this is a poem that, instead of me putting myself into a Bill Murray movie, it's more of me taking Bill Murray and putting him into a situation that I like to be in very often, and that is the supermarket. Some people find the airport very sexual. I find the supermarket to be very sexual and interesting, and just as in an airport, you could go down any path. You could go to Buenos Aires and you could be a different person. Well, if you're at the supermarket, you could buy ceviche and be a completely different person. Be completely changed. So that's about me taking Bill Murray and putting him in my world. So this is called "That Was Quite an Outfit You Weren't Wearing Earlier." And that was it. I want to kiss you silly, and we'll sleep better after. So he pressed his pretty pleats to the collision of my collarbone. Is that okay? Yes, but please, sir, I'd like some more. And there were more. The tongues like children encountering a revolving door for the first time. And the things you see when you, this you being me and not you, open your eyes. Pink stationery, pencil shavings, broken flowers on the hardwood floor. When you sleep in someone else's bed, you dream differently. The smell of strange laundry detergent, the off-kilter alignment of the headboard, it gets into your head. And you, actually I, try to focus on the rhythm of your tongue, the placement of your hands, but when you waste the day in the produce aisle, artichoke hearts are not easily dismissed. My mind is back to earlier this evening when we were surrounded by packaged bologna and potato chips, the spot where you lost all your celebrity. In the grocery store, you're just a guy pushing my cart, and yet you are Bill Murray, so you make eyes at me when I put chicken and a biscuit into the basket and when I sample the samples. You're sort of the worst sometimes, like when I mispronounce baguette or brioche, or when I pretend to cough and insert yet to be purchased grapes into my mouth. And yet, I want to run my hands through your receding hairline. I want you to kiss me under the vegetable misters as peals of fake thunder crash in the background. I want you to place one hand on the small of my back as I examine avocados that will inevitably go bad before guacamole can ever be made. Produce-style always brings the side out of me. Everything is ripening, rounding, people are squeezing, sniffing. Audience, it is cliche, but that does not make it less true. Which brings us back to those artichoke hearts. Do we, yes, this time it's you and me buried in a box spring, do we pull them from artichoke bodies like those red-cheeked natives in Temple of Doom? If one is a vegetarian, and this one is, does that mean one's heart can only be an artichoke heart, which bristles purple at the sound of coffee dripping and Karen Carpenter? Broccoli blooms greener with steaming, so it stands to reason that your innards are unripening, returning to vines, vermilion, don't you think? You are browning in my bated breath, edges curling rather than crisping. Let's get back in our drawers. Yeah! In this beautiful, wonderful atmosphere of Puzzled, if I did not read the singular poem that I have that is a recipe, which is loosely inspired by Bill Murray's involvement in the Garfield movie, which if you don't know, he thought that it was directed by the Coen brothers, which it was directed by someone with the last name Cohen, but it was spelled wrong. So anyway, this is called Love Me, Feed Me, Never Leave Me. Ingredients: 2 cups of flour. He has it on his nose, his lips, his hair, a regular cocaine snowman. You could cut out Starship sugar cookies on his stomach. 3 eggs. He cracks them all in one swift stroke of his fist. The shells and whites and yolks are indistinguishable. Someone might think a live birth had just taken place here. 1 cup of sugar. He licks it off of a stick of butter. The white crystals glisten on his rubbery tongue, which hangs out of his head like a prize ribbon. 2 teaspoons vanilla. He pours it on his chest in a biblical way. The dark liquor drips from his tiny black ringlets. There are brown dots on my toes. Half a teaspoon of salt. He knocks over the shaker with his foot as he mounts the table. The place settings are in disarray. Our name cards are not side by side. 1/4 teaspoon of yellow food coloring. He has it on his fingertips. A slow yellow fever contraction. Directions: preheat the oven. He kisses my earlobes and rubs the skin behind my knees where I rarely shave. Stir the ingredients to homogeneity. Our lips, mine covered in chocolate and coconut shavings, his in melted butter and red sprinkles, meet. Pour into the pan. He carries me to the bed with the Garfield sheets. Bake. I close my eyes and try to keep up. Remove from the oven and allow time to cool. Each of us naked, breathing deeply, him smoking a candy cane. What's that nonsense? Who can say? The way this is structured, I'll take a brief, even though it's delicious. The way this is set up is very much a hybrid of poems, and also when I was a wee undergraduate, the university that I attended, which was the University of Alabama, foolishly let me write a creative nonfiction thesis, and they're like, you can write about whatever you want. And I was like, I want to write about Bill Murray. They're like, go forth and do it, young child. I was like, thank you very much. So in the summer of 2012, I was doing just that. I was doing my research, which I was told to do, for my thesis, and which entailed watching Bill Murray movies and also reading a delicious and wonderful book, which is called The Razor's Edge, which is a book that Bill Murray adapted into a screenplay. And I was like, if this guy I think is good enough to adapt into a screenplay, then I might as well read that book. And it is very, very, very good and wonderful and delicious. And I was also in that time in my life where I was a piccolo player in a marching band, which aren't you shocked and dismayed to find that out. And through a series of events, this band was like going to Italy for like a tour thing. I don't know. I was there doing that, but also reading this book And I had like a wonderful, beautiful night where plans didn't work out, and it was one of those good times plans didn't work out, because it meant that I was like in an Italian bathroom by myself, bathtub by myself, like reading this book. And if I could ever figure out where my tabs went, I'll read it to you. Let's see here. Technical difficulty, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. The table of contents is useful for this, and I want everyone to know that there is a table of contents in this book, which is great. Let's see here. Also, if you could remember the titles of your things, that's also helpful. This is called Please Don't Call Me By My Real Name. It Destroys the Reality I'm Trying to Create. I missed the discotheque. Every train that pulled to the subway platform was brimming with people and their sweat. I had tried twice to wedge myself shoulder first into the compartment, only to have the doors clamp shut prematurely. By the time a semi-empty train arrived, it was 10 minutes past 7, and I knew that my party was already sliding down the opposite tunnel in their body glitter and leather boots. The city was drowsy when I emerged from the tunnel. A smattering of streetlights shone intermittently on the slick street. The night was shot. There was a time slot to be filled. 3 choices presented themselves at the convenience store: red, white, or sparkling. Obviously, there was not a wrong choice. So I selected the sparkling, a dessert wine, and a dessert, some Italian equivalent of the ding-dong, and I left with my paper bag and a bit of optimism. Sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist would have been more appropriate because, as Phil Connors points out, it reminds one of Rome, the way the sun hits the buildings in the afternoon. Yet, the convenience store wine, drunk straight from the bottle because our room had only empty kitchen cabinets, went down smoothly after the initial shock of popping the cork, which was terrifying as a person alone in a room. Just a side note. I enjoyed the bottle sip by sip in the deep hotel bathtub situated below an impending hot water heater. Before departing from the States, I had checked out a copy of Somerset Maugham's The Razor's Edge. I began the book in the bath and couldn't stop until the bottle was empty and the water was cold. Yeah. And you should definitely read the movie. You should definitely read the movie. You should definitely read the book. Maybe don't watch the movie. Just saying. I love Bill Murray so much with that movie. I don't know. It's very interesting though, because so like the book resonated with him because he read it. I think the guy that ended up directing the movie gave him a copy of the book. He read the book while his wife was having his first child, and like in the middle of the night, he called this guy and he's like, "This is Larry Darrell," which is the name of the main character of the book. And when I read it, I was like, "This is Larry Darrell," because Larry Darrell, the main character, is just a man who doesn't really have a job. He just likes to learn. He likes philosophy. He likes thinking deeply. He likes reading deeply. He has a girlfriend who's like, "We need to get married." He's like, "I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Tibet. I don't know." He's like, "Maybe I'll be in Paris for a while and I won't do anything. I'll loaf." He loafs in the book. So anyway, Bill Murray wanted to make this movie, and in order to do that, he needed some money, so he went to Dan Aykroyd and agreed to do Ghostbusters so he could get money to make that movie. And then after Ghostbusters, he's like, "What am I going to do? I'm going to go to Paris and study at the Sorbonne and study philosophy," which he did. So I read that and I was like, "Oh, idea here." So this next piece is about my idea of what Bill Murray might have done in Paris. I'm a person that's never been to Paris, and so this is a very stereotypical interpretation of what might happen to Bill Murray in Paris. And for that, we need a very stereotypical song for people that are in Paris in movies. I want to say, stereotypical, ladies and gentlemen, but very delicious and delightful and wonderful, as are all the things described in this poem, which is called "This Isn't the Old Mr. Sunshine." Because I've never been to Paris, I imagine him in the most stereotypical of French situations. Bill Murray walking down a cobblestone path, Bill Murray drinking coffee from a porcelain cup. Bill Murray carrying flowers wrapped in brown paper. Bill Murray pretending to like the wine. Bill Murray pretending to like the accordion. Bill Murray wearing a red scarf. Bill Murray being surprised at how long you have to chew a single slice of baguette. Bill Murray reflected in a puddle of moonlight. Bill Murray comparing his head to the size of a block of cheese. Bill Murray feeling the fabric of a beret. Bill Murray tentatively wearing a beret. Bill Murray feeling bolder about the beret after a glass of champagne. Bill Murray feeling overwhelmed with an unspeakable awe. Bill Murray feeling aimless desire. Bill Murray touching the petals of table roses. Bill Murray ending a postcard with love, ampersand, love, ampersand, love. Right now, I'm falling in love right now with all of these people who liked that song. Oh man, you can't beat Edith Piaf, I think. Yeah. So I told you I was in Italy, doing my thing, doing some marching around in a band uniform in Florence, which even now seems bizarre. Like, who was that for? I don't know. I don't know who that was for. I don't know who enjoyed it. There were a lot of confused people in the streets. But we were in Rome. I'd been to Rome once before. I've been lucky enough to be there before, and I'd done the whole Trevi Fountain, thrown the coin thing, and I'd come back, which is the fulfillment of that thing, right? You're supposed to throw the coin, make the wish, and then you come back. And I came back. So this time I was like, something useful here. Because I was doing all this Bill Murray research. I was very aware of all the no one will ever believe you stories. He had just shown up at someone's dodgeball game prior to this. I was like, So when I went to the Trevi Fountain, I threw 2 coins. So you come back to Rome, but also maybe other things happen. Who can say? Who knows? And I want to point out too, for those that don't remember the summer of 2012, Call Me Maybe was the song of the summer at that time, and the opening verse to that song is, I threw a wish in the well, don't ask me, I'll never tell. Don't think that coincidence fell on deaf ears there. That's very significant to me. I was like, yes, Carly, I did throw a wish in the well. Anyway, so this poem is about the wishing in the Trevi Fountain. It's called How Many Angels Can Dance on the Head of a Pin. The coin is suspended in the thick of May, the humidity holding it still within itself. The face in the coin squints in the light, along with the assembled crowds gathered to see the spectacle that is water shooting from a ceramic conch shell pressed to the mouth of a Poseidon pipe. Backs of various builds, flat cutting boards, collapsed flour bags, cottage cheese, turned towards the spray, tossing coins over shoulders like water, like nothing. The wishes are caught there, stuck in suspended animation, the atmosphere thick as curls of gelato, full of expectation. And my hand is open, the wish is swinging on a pendulum between true, between false. And you're supposed to wish for a second helping of Rome, with the promise of summer vacation, summer romance, summer reinvention, emboldens you to stretch out your fingers just a bit farther. I turn the coin over in my hand, in my mind, in the hand, in my mind, and retell the story to myself of who I paid a cent to see. Just one more, ladies and gentlemen. We've come so far on this night. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. And this last piece, very dear to my heart. I am a person who, I don't know, there's like a magic about airplanes and air travel, and I feel like every time that I'm on a plane, I'm either going to something spectacular or going to see someone I love very much, which also means if I'm getting on a plane, I'm probably leaving something spectacular or leaving someone I love very much. And I get very emotional on planes, which is so, I have a friend, we've talked about it, it's like the one time you're allowed it because you're like 5 miles in the air, so you can let it all loose. And I have often in the middle seat of the middle row, I'm just like bawling my eyes out and like drinking the little tiny thing of white wine and just like watching my best friend's wedding on the tiny TV. I'm like, why? Just letting it all go out. Because I have this thing, and you probably do it too, it's not a unique thing, but every time I get on the plane, I'm like, I'm in this moment right now, and I know that soon I'm not going to be in it anymore. I'm not going to be in another moment where I'm leaving, and like everything that's about to happen is going to be over. And so I like to commune with those moments a lot, and for those reasons, my favorite movie, if you're asking me, audience, my favorite Bill Murray movie, but my favorite movie is Lost in Translation. It's very much, yeah, you can clap for that movie. It's a great movie. It's great. It's great. And it's very much about the tenuous and the fleeting and things that don't last, but they're beautiful because they don't last, because it's like a cherry blossom and it's there and you're like, oh, and then it's gone and you miss it so much, and that like just bittersweetness and how delicious it is. So anyway, that's what this is about. And this is called I Hope You've Had Enough to Drink. It's going to take courage. The movie began on the back of a balding man's head. I was warm and rosy from fistfuls of airplane champagne floating me to the roof of the cabin, Wonka's fizzy lifting drink style. On the screen, colors wipe across your cab window in streaks of rain. Head on glass, you sleep between turns. Consider the chances of the driver reaching your stop and carrying you up to your room the way your parents would when you fell asleep in the back seat. You're looking out the window toward what? Toward uncertainty? Yeah, me too. And I pull up the plastic shade and look at the wisps of night cloud cotton balls stretched over a black poster board held in front of the window to simulate flight, and think of my own uncertainty waiting for me with a paper sign that reads Shea Stripling's Uncertainty at Gate 7. But I'm buoyed a bit by the booze, lifted with the spirit of spirits, and full of new love, that delicate mask you pull down from the overhead bin and breathe in so, so deeply until you're all dizzy from that pure oxygen to the brain. And then there's the karaoke scene. Fireworks on weather balloons. It's a pink wig girl meets an orange camouflage shirt turned inside out guy kind of story. You know the kind. And I'm more of an ABBA and blonde wig with a bald spot you have to cover with a scarf kind of girl, but I like Roxy music, and I like your rendition in particular, which is why I push the free earbuds deep into the curly Q holes and sing in a champagne slur. And so what if that was my foot and my sock you were holding? What advice would you impart to me? Does it get easier, Bob, or Bill, or whatever you prefer to be called in the scene? Is there anything more than sakura blossoms and silence over sake? No? Yes? And then somehow we're at the end, and you look out the cab window, and I look out my plastic airplane window. Hey, you. And you hold the back of my head, stroke my hair, whisper, just like honey. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I feel very devious playing these songs, because if it was me in the audience of a movie and they were playing these songs, I would say, you're treading on me and trying to make me feel something that I don't actually feel. But I feel a lot of things right now. And I want to briefly just say a quick thank you to, obviously, one Kimberly Casey, who's the most wonderful human being, who's given me this microphone so many times, more times than I deserve, obviously, and just been delightful to let me do this. And obviously to one Lindsay Mirandon and one Jeremy Bernard, the wonderful people that have designed and created and edited and put together this book and said, take this out, this is terrible, this will make it better. No, they didn't say that. Well, maybe they said that, I don't know, I can't tell you what goes on behind the scenes. But if you like this book and think it's delicious and wonderful, they have so much to do with it, and just thank them so much for being a part of it. And thank you to all of you for being out here. And then there's one more person that very much so needs to be thanked. Hold on a second. There's one person that couldn't be here with us tonight for whatever reason, for scheduling reasons. and stuff, and I love to give them a call, which I didn't reveal in this story whether or not that wish came true, so you'll have to buy the book. I gotta move books, so I can't tell you necessarily whether or not that that wish came true. If you could just say, "Hey Bill," when I give you a hand signal, that'd be great. Hi Bill, this is Shea. I just wanted to let you know that there are over 50 some odd people in the Huntsville, Alabama area inside of the chocolate shop, all of whom would willingly give you a home and much liquor if given the chance. I'm going to just let them say hello real quick. So.
Hey!
I see a lot of people offering a lot of free homes and free booze. Should you like to come to the Huntsville area? All right, thanks so much. Okay, bye.